The next MCU movie, The Thunderbolts, just came out in theaters this past weekend, and we're going to talk about it. This is an important one because before the next Avengers movie, Doomsday, they only really have two movies leading up to it, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. So, if you want to get a running start, those two movies have to be good. Luckily for Thunderbolts, it was pretty good. And it seems I'm not the only one who thinks so. So how this is going to work, the first part of the video is going to be a spoiler-free kind of rundown, my thoughts, what the internet's saying, and then after that, we will get into some, I guess, mild spoiler type stuff, but I'll give you a warning when it comes to that. First of all, I feel like I'm in the minority of people who was excited for this movie. And fair enough. The main characters are kind of side characters, but I didn't mind that. As these movies were coming out, like previous shows, previous movies, and I saw, what's-her-face? Yeah, Valentina. Because I think the first time I saw her was maybe in the Black Widow movie, where she kind of comes up to Yelena. Either that, or she came up to John Walker in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I forget exactly when she first came in, but like as she kept popping into these movies and confronting these kind of like anti-heroes, the idea intrigued me and it excited me that that there was a possibility for kind of a anti-hero, more gritty superhero team. And that's exactly what this was. A lot of the characters I actually like. That's not the same for everyone, though. A lot of people either don't care about these characters or don't even remember or know these characters. That's why in terms of excitement, in terms of people going to watch it, it's very, very low. The theater I was in, it was just me and one other guy. Like, it was dead in there. And granted, I went in the early afternoon, so it wasn't like prime time for movies. But still, it was just me and one other person, which is sad because the movie was actually good. The reason for me wanting to see this is that I like the majority of the characters. 3 out of the 5. I don't mind the Red Guardian. Ghost I don't really care about. But Bucky, Yelena, and John Walker, I enjoy those characters. When it comes to Yelena, is it because she's attractive? Maybe. I still like seeing her, though, in projects. Like Hawkeye. The Hawkeye show when she showed up, the Black Widow movie. I liked her in those, and I thought she was interesting. And she looks good. Bucky, self-explanatory. I think that's probably the most popular out of the characters in this group. And rightfully so. He's cool. Everyone loves him. He's awesome. And then we got John Walker. Watching through the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, I was fighting for my life defending this dude. It was by design. It was by design for people to hate John Walker. He was just doing his job. And people hated him because he wasn't Steve Rogers. But the dude didn't do anything wrong. He was just doing what he was hired to do, to be the next Captain America. And then they gave it to Sam Wilson. And we saw how that turned out with the flop in the box office. John Walker, I was defending him all throughout the show. Even when he killed the terrorist. People were like, how could he do that? The dude was a terrorist. And they even bring that up in this movie. They're like, you killed an innocent terrorist. They're like, are we forgetting that the dude was a terrorist or no? Like, what? So the hate for John Walker, I never understood it. I liked him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I liked him in this. A lot of the jokes he made were actually pretty funny. At least I thought. He's a cool character. Anyways, that's the squad. So basically, a bunch of rejects, anti-heroes, gritty, down to earth, less fantastic superheroes. I personally loved it. I enjoy that. I wanted to see something like that. I think it's important to have a balance, you know. I love the Steve Rogers ideal, you know. Thor ideal. Like the original Avengers. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. They're the ideal. That's what people strive to become, strive to be like, strive to be better. They see this perfect ideal of a god of thunder, of Steve Rogers, the Boy Scout, super soldier, you know. And we love that. But at the same time, I like how they delved into the cold reality of this, of other people. And that was a big theme. The big theme of this movie was loneliness and depression. Usually, I'm not one for focusing too much on like depression aspect of things or loneliness aspect of things, but I think in this movie they did it very well. But we'll pause that. We'll pause that real quick, and we'll look at kind of what other people are thinking about it so far, and then we'll go back into kind of a more deeper dive into my thoughts on this movie. So, based on Rotten Tomatoes, which is an interesting place to go if you're looking for honest movie reviews. A lot of times there'll be a disconnect between audience or critics. But given these numbers, everyone seems to be on the same page. Look at this, 95% from the audience. So verified audience, 95%. All audience, 94%. That's high. That's like the highest I've seen in a long time. The critics give it a 90%, 88%, 90%. People like the movie, and rightfully so. It's a good, well done movie. How? For one thing, they take it seriously. They take the aspect of loneliness seriously, especially when it comes to men in this case. Yes, Elena is basically the main character of this movie, but at the same time, it delves into kind of looking closer into the men as well. One thing that kind of happens in Marvel or just in Hollywood in general is that they're out of touch when it comes to men and I guess problems that men face. They kind of push it away, kind of be like, oh, how could you be complaining? We live in a patriarchy. Men don't have problems. Men aren't lonely. And if they are, they're just incels and they're a joke. That's kind of the main theme of what's happened in the past, but in this, it takes the subject seriously. And they don't turn it into a joke. They take it seriously in this. They don't turn the problem, the very real problem of male loneliness today, into a joke. They don't turn the problem of male, like, depression and darkness into a joke. They don't turn it into a Cheese Whiz joke with Thor. Thor was going through some shit. He was going through it, man. And everyone just brushed it off as a joke, because Thor felt responsible. He almost killed Thanos. He was right there, but he didn't. He failed. And then he fell into a spiral, a downward spiral of pizza and beer and getting fat and drowning your sorrow in alcohol. The Thunderbolts, they deal with similar stuff, you know? Kind of that aspect of having to deal with loss, having to deal with loneliness, having to deal with not fitting in fully. Perfect example of that is Bucky Barnes, an 100-year-old dude from the 1940s, World War II vet, trying to be a meaningful member of society, either a hero or, like, in this, I don't think this is a spoiler. He's a senator. Is he a senator? He's trying to get into politics, you know, trying to do good through the system. But Bucky, he's like at a weird in-between. Like, yeah, he was a super soldier for Hydra, an assassin, and he wants to be this hero. He knows he can never be the same as Steve Rogers, be as pure and as innocent and as heroic as Steve Rogers. even though he's working his ass off to try and do that, trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good guy, but he keeps falling into this middle ground, where he kind of feels like he doesn't belong anywhere. I want to dive into that deeper. I'm planning on doing a kind of Bucky Barnes character video, I guess, looking into him, especially when it comes to this movie. But yeah, so it's a common theme throughout. Overall, I liked it. If I had to do a rating, I'd say I'd honestly give it an 8. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. And why is that? There's a few things. Like I said, takes this very much real problem of loneliness seriously. Number 2, it doesn't kind of bash on men. Like, you'll get banter, like between John Walker and Ghost or Yelena, when they're kind of giving each other crap. And like the chicks questioning Walter's like masculinity. Oh, not Walter. Walker's like just giving him crap, which is fine. It's nothing too bad in terms of like, oh, women power. Another thing, doesn't really get too political. It's not trying to push a political stance or agenda. It's kind of just telling a story. Telling a very real, dark, gritty story, which I appreciated. It wasn't trying to ram down different social politics, propaganda, agendas, etc. It's just these group of imperfect people trying to do their best. What else? I guess, slight spoiler warning for this part forward. I'll be talking a little bit about just kind of specific scenes. So if you haven't seen it yet and you do care about like, oh, I don't want to hear spoilers, yeah. Fair warning. Like I said, group of imperfect people trying to do their best. Perfect example of this was when Bob... Robert Sentry turned into like a dark version of Sentry and was kind of vaporizing people, and stuff was crashing down, the rubble was falling from the buildings, and that scene I really liked, because they just got their ass kicked by Sentry, and despite that, and despite feeling like absolute shit about themselves and about their lives, they see the others around them and how they're in need. And despite their flaws, which they know they have, they throw themselves out there to try and save people. Even though they don't feel heroic. Even though they don't think that they're worthy of even being called superheroes, they still kind of just push their problems aside and put themselves on the line to help people, even though they know that they're not heroes, that they're not the ideal. They can still do something, and they're just trying to be the best people that they can possibly be, help others, despite all the shit that they're going through, despite all the dirt that their names have been dragged through, all the crap that they've done. Man, I don't know, dude. It just hit different for some reason. I don't know why. But I loved that scene. I thought it was cool. And then, yeah, John Walker holding up a whole entire wall by himself, and then everyone else kind of helps him out to kind of hold up that burden, and then they work together to push that wall and the giant piece of rubble out of the way of people to save them. I don't know, it just seems so real, because I guess we don't see that side too often of people, who don't feel that they're worthy, who just kind of want to have a good impact on the world, try and be the best person that they can or whatever. I just thought it was cool to see. And then, yeah, Robert, what's his face, the character of Sentry. Him too, man. I mean, there he is. Like, yeah, I don't know. He was kind of just going through it. Felt lonely as shit. And I feel like a lot of other people in Hollywood would have spun it to say, hey, look how pathetic this guy is. Look at this incel. Look at this lonely bastard. What a loser. What a, like, and bash him just because he's a normal dude. Just because he's not freaking Chris Hemsworth. Just because he's not, I don't know. And then obviously he has superpowers, so he's not a normal dude. But like still, dude was lonely. He felt alone, which a lot of people kind of feel nowadays. But yeah, then the whole kind of point is, hey, you're not alone. You've got people that you can talk to. Even though you get so into your head, kind of going into the dark rooms that all these characters are flashing through. You get so much into your head that you're kind of blind to everyone else around you who cares about you, who loves you, who want to see you be better, you know? And then, yeah, just talking to someone. Like, Yelena said it at one point, how just talking to someone makes the burden feel lighter or whatever. Which, yeah, is true. You can get into your head so much, and then, like, if you call someone, talk to them for 20 minutes, you feel better afterwards. Yeah, like, if you're calling someone that you love and that you care about, or that you like and enjoy having around, who isn't toxic to you, or kind of like a good someone, I don't know. And then you just feel that much more better, that much more lighter. And obviously it doesn't take away everything that you may be going through, but still it just makes you feel a little better. And that, hey, yeah, everyone is going through shit. My shit isn't any more depressing or important than your shit. Like, everyone's going through something. Every single one of these characters was going through something. John Walker, for crying out loud. Like, his wife and his kid left him after he became a public failure. And the wife's excuse was, oh my gosh, he was on his phone while he was watching the baby. What? No, you left him because he's a public failure in the eyes of the people. And you're embarrassed to be seen with him anymore. Like, okay, lady, whatever. So yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was good. Like I said, I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. It was the best Marvel movie that's come out, and probably, okay, maybe not the best, but one of the best movies that have come out from Marvel in the past 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah, I have it pulled up right now. So, after Endgame, the last fantastic spectacle was Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always good. Black Widow, I saw that. I enjoyed it. And we got all these. So from 2019 until 2025, we only had a handful of good movies. Thunderbolts, one of them. I don't know, maybe I liked it even more than Deadpool and Wolverine. But those two movies had different vibes. Definitely did better than Captain America. Definitely did better than Marvel's. I liked it better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But I didn't mind Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And then trash. Slightly better trash. okay. A lot of these movies Marvel could have done without, and hopefully they're course correcting. It seems like maybe so. After Endgame, they should have focused on kind of building up again. Because the first MCU movie was Iron Man. It wasn't this big fantastical event like Endgame. They were trying to, I don't know, strive for that same kind of hype with every movie. It's like, no, you need these Thunderbolt movies where it's kind of taking a step back from the magic and the multiverse and the teleportation and I don't even know, space. It's just real life, gritty, on Earth, imperfect people trying to be better, and it worked. It worked. It was one of the best movies that Marvel has done in 5 years. And I thought it's a pretty good lead up to Avengers Doomsday. I don't know if that's big enough of a runway for Avengers Doomsday to have the hype of an Avengers movie, but maybe so. Maybe so, because Avengers Endgame is just in a category of its own. Everything was leading up to that. But look at just regular Avengers. What was leading up to regular Avengers? Only a couple movies. So it can be done. You can get the hype. But it's like their expectations cannot be, let's have the next Avengers Endgame right now. Because you can't. You got to lead up to that through a decade of stuff. But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe these two movies will have... I hope Fantastic Four is good. Because then that'll be a nice little 2 good movie lead up to Avengers Doomsday. And I'd be fine with that. I mean, I'd be fine with that. It was cool. The end credit scene was cool for this. I'm not going to spoil it. But just like tying it into other stuff. And kind of pointing to the future of Doomsday. Overall, I liked this movie a lot. It'll be something that I watch again, for sure. And I haven't been able to say that in a long time. I didn't even say that about Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a good movie. I liked it. It was fun. But would I watch it again? Not for a while. Thunderbolts, I would want to watch that again very soon. Like, it was fun. It was great. I liked the characters. And like I said, I want to do a Bucky Barnes deep dive because I think his character in the MCU is quite intriguing, especially when it comes to Infinity War, Endgame, and then this. And I guess Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Because, yeah, post-Hydra, I just think it's interesting. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say on it. Sorry this video went so long. I just really enjoyed it. It really struck a chord, and I don't know why. Maybe because it just felt real, and it felt like people's problems were seen, and it wasn't like, oh, let's mope about it in therapy. It was like, yes, we have problems, but we're going to deal with that. We're going to hold it, not complain about it, and we're going to do what needs to be done regardless. We're going to buckle down. We're going to unite together, lean on each other for support or whatever, but we're not crying to each other, and we'll get business done. We'll keep living. We'll keep fighting. We'll keep trying our best to be the best person we possibly can. We'll try to protect the people in any way that we can because we've been given these special abilities, so we better try and at least use them for good, even though we're not perfect, even though we got crap going on, even though we may feel lonely or depressed or feel like we're not good enough. we're gonna try. That's the vibes this movie gave off. It struck a chord with me, and I'm sure it struck a chord with a lot of other people. Overall, it was good. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Even if you don't care about these characters too much, I think after this, that might change. So anyways, that's my review on the Thunderbolts. It was a great movie and a lot of fun. If you've watched this far into the video, thank you very, very, very much. And please consider giving this a like or subscribing. Anything helps me. I appreciate you guys. All right. Bye.